Welcome back. We're bad, we've been bad, and we'll probably always be bad.
Sounds about right when you're talking about the U.S. men's national team. Pochettino now 4 games in a row losing streak. That's 5 wins, 0 draws, and 5 losses for Mauricio Pochettino. Now, we can talk about all the shit goals that we conceded and
how it was probably the worst half of national team football that I've felt as a fan since probably drawing to Trinidad and Tobago and not going to the World Cup in 2020.
I think it was worse than the Colombia thrashing.
Honestly, because at least you think, all right, Colombia, very, very good, dominant South American team. Switzerland, pretty good, decent European team, but not, you wouldn't think. The expectation was a little different, and it was just, oh man.
Watching that first half as a U.S. men's national team fan, I mean, every single
Spain without
goal,
the S.
They just fucking ran through us. Our whole, from defense to back line, shit.
It's 2025. What are we doing with Walker Zimmerman starting a game for the men's national team in a competitive match? I know it's a friendly, but it's still a competitive match in my mind because we have X amount of days, 365 days until the World Cup starts. 365 days, 1 year. And you have Walker Zimmerman starting at center back.
It's honestly sad. And so it's not just from the coaching side.
Not just him. It's not. I don't mean to
player side,
him. It's
coaching
everybody.
side. So, but first off, we're gonna start with the coach. I mean, dude, the players we've brought in and the players you left out. I understand that not all of them can.
Couple of them have excuses,
but
gave excuses.
The shit that we're getting, these players should be wanting to come here, wanting to play for you, wanting to play for the national team. I don't care if it's a fucking friendly, and I don't care if it's Gold Cup, because that's what we have in this region, right? It doesn't matter what other teams are in it, who we think they're shit, or we don't think it's worth our time, or it's not as good as CONMEBOL or fucking, the European
or the Copa
leagues.
America.
It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's what we have. We have Gold Cup, and we play these set teams. That's who we're playing. Our best people should be there at every moment. And there were a lot of guys who could have been there, who Pochettino decided to leave out. It's disappointing to see. And then you can see from these last 2 games just how it unraveled. First half, again, against Switzerland, was just so abysmal, and it showed the setup from the beginning was terrible. The player selection, terrible. So Pochettino has a lot to take blame for here.
He definitely does. I mean, you can't lump everything on the players. Obviously, a 4-0 looks bad on everybody, but you kind of have to think about the circumstances leading up to this camp. I mean, Pochettino had come into this losing 2 straight, not performing when expected to in important competitions like the Gold Cup, like Tanner said. You don't win it, and you go forward and you think, okay, we need to bring everyone back. We need to bring everyone in and get everyone on the same page that's available. We know some players are injured. Some people are off with the Club World Cup. There are some circumstances for whatever. But the players that are at your disposal, you bring them in. You tell them, hey, we're going to bring this camp together. Yeah, maybe you're not going to play 70 minutes both games, or you're going to be on the bench. You're just here for morale, but you're there. You're in there grinding, training every day with your teammates, with your coaches, getting that timing down. I've never played professional soccer. I don't know what it really takes, but they know, and they're not even there to try and give that minimal effort.
It's disappointing. I just think the coach, if you look at it, take away the name, we wanted this guy bad.
Yeah.
We wanted this guy bad. If this was Berhalter, he'd be on he'd be out of a noose around his neck
head
right
would
now.
be on a stake.
The fact that Mauricio Pochettino has been doing what he's doing it's just diabolical. The press from minute 1 against Switzerland was just god-awful. None of the players looked like they knew what they were doing or had any cohesion whatsoever. And it's just really disappointing to see certain people still in the national team. Like Trevin said, Walker Zimmerman, thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you for the
But
past.
that's it, right?
It's over.
We need to move forward. Certain players just aren't cut for it at this level. And I know Pochettino wants to bring in all these MLS guys and maybe some of them can do a job. I love the heart from Diego Luna. If every player played with the heart like Diego Luna on this national team,
we win the World Cup.
We would have won 4-0, right? But that's not the case. These guys don't have it, right? But you're still putting them in these positions. You got Jack McGlynn playing right mid. You got, like, Tillman not starting. Brian White. Why the fuck are we still... We're leaving home Josh Sargent, the Norwich Player of the Year, the EPL Second Division Player of the Year, if I'm not wrong. One of the top goal scorers. You're leaving him at home. Yes, he hasn't performed at the level for the U.S. men's national team, but still, you're leaving a guy like that at home to bring in Brian White and Patrick Agyemang. I don't understand it. So, Pochettino, he deserves a lot of credit for how bad we've been. And on that same note, the players deserve it too. They've just
100%.
been, their decision-making, some of them not coming in. Those who are there, just the performances, the effort, the everything. Just players that have a big part of this too.
I mean, the players you can look at in particular for that first half against Switzerland, I mean, there were so many moments where they didn't show the effort. They didn't show the responsibility to step up and do something and actually, take the game back and not let it get to 3 and 4-0 as easy as it did. Because it seems like the European players, or the American players that play in Europe and play abroad, they don't care as much. And then the players that play in the MLS just aren't good enough.
It's just how it is.
That's the paradox we have in this country right now. Nobody cares enough. That's the problem. We have so many issues in our whole system, the whole setup, top to bottom, that it's not just on the players in Poch, but it's on everybody and everybody's problem to figure it out before the World Cup. Because no one cares outside of the bubble that is the national team. I mean, you look at other countries like England. How? They just lost 3-1 to Senegal. You really think that there's not already some questions being asked about Tuchel and some murmurs and saying, hey, maybe this wasn't the right idea? The press care. The people there care. We don't enough, and that's our problem.
It's a problem. The players just don't, like Trevin said, just don't seem to care. The ones that are there just aren't good enough. We need to see more from the guys we have. I mean, and the guys that weren't selected, again, it's Pochettino and the players. The effort, to go down 4-0, just the goals we conceded, the lackluster performance that whole first half from top to bottom of the pitch.
Everybody.
Matt Turner, I mean, this guy, he's going to go to Lyon supposedly. He's not going to start at Lyon.
No.
I don't think he's going to start. I don't care how much they buy him for. They could buy him for $25 million. I think it's like $9 million or something. First of all, way too much for Matt Turner.
Way too much for Matt Turner.
The guy is like 28, 29 in the prime of his career, sitting on the bench everywhere he goes. I want him to do good so bad. I really do. I root for every single U.S. men's national team player.
Anybody
no matter the team they play for. They could play for United. I'd still want them to do well.
I don't care.
I want them to do well. But Matt Turner just doesn't have it in him. He's going to go to Lyon, and I think he's just going to sit the bench again. His mistakes in the game showed yet again just he's a backup goalie. I mean, at best.
I mean, we saw a lot of unique moments. We saw Paxton and Brendan Aronson on the pitch together as brothers for the first time in the national team.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. They got subbed at halftime. Don't really give a shit. They didn't perform. You can have all these good feel-good moments and, all the good, camaraderie or whatever in the camp for this with the different players that you have, but it doesn't matter when you go out there and you lose 4-0.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You need to perform. You need to understand the training that's given to you day in and day out when you're with a national team. And Poch needs to figure out a way to get it in these players' heads because he's not doing his job either.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's hand in hand. It's just as much the players as just as much as it is Poch. Just as much as it is just the whole culture around soccer in this country.
Yeah.
It's just not really there yet. But when you are paid and you're a professional athlete and you're representing your country in any fashion, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's any sport, it doesn't matter what sport you're in. When you're representing your country, you should do so with pride and with gratitude because not many people get to say they can do that. Yeah. So to say you put on the team for the jersey for your national team to go and play, I don't care if you play for MLS, I don't care who you play for, what country you're from, or where you play, or if you immigrated here, or whatever the circumstances, if you play for the U.S. men's national team or any country, you should be going out there with pride. That whole first half, and honestly second half too, you could just see Switzerland just kind of let off the gas. I mean, they didn't
want
care.
to keep going. They wanted to kick the ball around for 45 minutes. But exactly what Tanner said, you need to have the pride, you need to have the motivation, you need to have that effort. That is the minimum expectation as a national team player in this country. You might not like all the different shit that's going on in our country, but when you put on that badge, you represent the people. And the people do not watch and give their time and their energy and their money to players that don't deserve it. And that's what's going to continue to happen if these players don't figure it out.
It's going to continue to happen as well if our coaching staff doesn't figure out how to get players to get in that position. So,
and
like we
be
said,
with the national team.
hand
And be
in
motivated to be there.
People need to be here. The best need to be here. The best of the best we have at our disposal need to be here. Bar none. There's no excuse around it. I don't care what the competition is. I don't care if it's a fucking friendly or a Gold Cup or a CONMEBOL match or whomever we play against. I don't care if it's Trinidad and Tobago again. Because even against them, we have some fucking bad moments.
Some problems.
So, get it together. Everybody needs to be there. Like we said, hand in hand, everybody's problem. We need to see change, and we need to see it quick, because World Cup is right around the corner.
365 days. We're fucked.
Yeah.